Good morning. I'm Mark Seifert, and I'm here with Brandon Dew. And today, we're going to make a video on leak detectors for refrigerant leak checking in our supermarkets. Come on along. So today we're going to talk about the two leak detectors that we mainly use. Here we have the Stratus. This is a D-Tech Stratus. It's a handheld, battery-powered leak detector. Most of the guys really like this unit, so we're going to test it. Also, we have the H10. My H10 is a bit older, and the battery is not functioning that great, so I have it plugged into an external power supply to keep it charged up. We're going to go over the calibration methods, what we need to look for, and a little bit of leak checking standards and procedures that we like to follow. So the H10 detector takes a little bit of practice to get used to. There's quite a few knobs and levers on there that we're going to go over how they function and what to do with these. So what we got here, we got our power button, and currently it's on the on position. We're ready to leak check. We've selected leak size small because we're going to be going through the discharge air on cases to try to find a leak underneath the deck pans without pulling all the product. Currently it's on manual. There's a manual and an auto setting. Some guys like the auto setting. Personally, I'd rather use the manual. A little more control, and you know what you're getting into. There's a calibration reference bottle here that we could test it. This one's working. I'm going to set it to manual, and I'm going to show you how I like to calibrate these. You notice that it's no longer beeping, but if you turn this knob, you can make it start to beep. What I like to do is get it clicking. Get a good cadence going that you can get used to. The OK seems to be a bit high for me, but some people like that. I'll go ahead and bring it down a little bit like that. And then I'll start walking the store and listening to the beeps and how fast they're beeping. If it starts to accelerate, you're onto a leak. And now it's time to investigate. Turn this down. The Stratus, on the other hand, you just turn it on and off it goes. You'll notice it says ppm, or parts per million, and currently it's on 0. There's no leak here. But we're going to test it to see how accurate that is. We're going to go head to head with the ZX. The H10. I did bring a ZX to try out. It's an older model. We can't get parts for them, but that used to be the standard. So come on along. We're going to go out into the store now, and we're going to see if we can't find a leak. Here we are at the front of the store. What we like to do is turn our leak detectors on before we walk into the store. That way they're calibrated to the outside air. We'll calibrate it, and then we'll walk into the store with the detectors on. Here comes Brandon now, leak checking the cases. Just checking the discharge air to see if he senses any refrigerant coming from underneath at the coils. This is pretty much the only way we can find a leak underneath without pulling all the product. Goes slow and methodical and keeps leak checking. Now here he comes with the H10. He's going to try again because the H10 sometimes can be more sensitive on discharge air. Let's see if he finds anything. You hear it beeping? Slow and methodical. Uh-oh. Sounds like he's picked something up. Uh-oh, there's a leak. It's inside that case somewhere. Let's investigate. We're not real comfortable that one leak detector picked it up and the other one didn't. Let's try it side by side. Brandon has the Stratus and I'm going to have the H10. Picking anything up yet, Brandon?
No.
Uh-oh. Well, that settles that. We have a leak in there, and unfortunately, the Stratus didn't pick it up. Yeah, we have a problem. Sometimes it's just best on an open air case, if you're checking on the discharge air, to use the H10 to check those cases. And then follow up with the Stratus to find the leak. Let's see where the leak is. Okay, looks like the Stratus has found the leak. Those nasty Schrader cores, they sure can be a problem. The Stratus did a real good job picking up the leak and isolating it and finding out exactly where it is. Next, I'm going to take the H10 and I'm going to try to identify where that leak is. Let's first make sure. Oh, it's still leaking, that's for sure. Boy, it's picking it up down here too. Oh, there it is. I got it right on the same spot. Okay, well, let's get that leak fixed. Now we're going to go into the motor room and check the motor room for refrigerant leaks. First thing we want to do is calibrate our H10 with the calibration fluid. It's calibrated. Let's go. We're going to bring both detectors with us. It might get loud in there. Plug your ears. Now he's going to check all the joints and anywhere that might be a leak. He's going to be very methodical about it and go slow and steady. If there was a large leak, he probably would be picking it up by now. So we can feel pretty good that there's not a real big leak in here. But we need to find any leaks, even the small ones. So after all that, I think I'll talk about my thoughts on what we just went over. Leak checking is a necessity. We need to find leaks, even the small ones. We need to leak check every aspect of the storm, including checking in the floor sinks for any underground leaks or possibilities, checking in the air handler, checking the condenser. We didn't go over those today, but we all know that it needs to be done. What are my thoughts of the leak not being found in the open case? Well, I feel that any open cases will pretty much have to be leak checked using the H10. We're all issued an H10, and I believe that anything open cases, it's going to be needed to check with the H10. The Stratus, I feel it works really good on the closed cases and in the motor room. The Stratus works real good, but it's just clearly not as sensitive as the H10, especially on discharge air cases. Brandon, what do you think?
I agree. They're two tools. They both have their uses. Obviously, the H10 is more sensitive, as we proved today. Unfortunately, Stratus, even though it's a $1,000 leak detector, is not as sensitive as I think a lot of us thought.
Agreed. Agreed. There is one drawback, of course, with the H10, and the battery just doesn't last as long as we'd like. Well, that's why I've got this power supply. This we can go around leak checking with the H10 plugged in. This will last several days without a charge, and we can charge those in our car. Also, as an added bonus, we can plug our phones into it and have our phones charging as well, amongst other things. Plenty of other stuff to attach to it, and it has an outlet there to charge your H10. So, in conclusion, I believe that any open cases, it's going to be mandatory that we have to check them with the H10, including coffin cases. And if it's got doors on it, I feel that the Stratus is sensitive enough to pick up even the smallest leaks in there because it's contained in the case. So in short, everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day. And from AVP, my name is Mark Seifert, and I'd like to thank Brandon Dew for assisting with this video, and we'll see you guys out there in the field. Thanks, everybody.